Welcome to our latest video for Digital Sentry. In this video, we'll be going over a health checklist for Digital Sentry. You might notice a recurring theme over the last few weeks with Digital Sentry, and we're really trying to help out with troubleshooting and being able to identify where issues lie and how to resolve them. The goal with this video is to go through a checklist of things that can be checked to verify the health of Digital Sentry. If these items come back okay, that is an indication that the system will be able to pull video in DS Control Point. Once we've gone through the list, the final step will be to verify video recording in Control Point. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the network. Digital Sentry being a network device, one of the first things we want to verify is the network connection. And to do that, we're going to go into network sharing. We're going to click on change adapter settings, and then we're going to look at our adapters. And just a quick recap on this, the local area connection 1 will be a connection to our office network. Local area connection 2 will be the connection to our security network, which can contain the IP cameras, the remote PCs, or any other security devices we have. With the network connection verified, also make sure to verify the IP addressing. This can be done as discussed in our network troubleshooting video by going to command prompt and pinging from the Digital Sentry system to the IP camera. A successful ping indicates the network is configured correctly. Now with our network configuration verified, we're going to verify our configuration in DS Admin. Now, DS Quick Setup, when used, will automatically configure DS Admin. However, if there is a problem and you're going through the health checklist, DS Admin would be recommended. With DS Admin open, we're going to go into the VAU and we're going to verify the settings there. You may remember this from our network troubleshooting video. The process is the same. It is still a very key element to verifying the overall health of a Digital Sentry system. Now, once we click on the name under VAU, that's going to bring up our VAU info tab. And what we want to do is verify the computer name and the IP addressing configuration. Now to do that, we're going to bring up command prompts by going to search and typing in CMD. Once we hit enter, that will bring up the command prompt screen. I'll go ahead and move it so we can see both the computer name and the IP address at the same time. Once we do that, we'll type in ping space the actual VAU name, in this case VXDSSRV, space -4 so we can see the IPv4 address. Now what we want to see is the name match the name under TCP IP address. This is very critical for verifying Digital Sentry health, as if this information is incorrect, the video server service will not start. Now, the next thing we're going to verify under VAU is going to be storage locations. We want to make sure the correct storage locations are active. Now, one of the important things to notice here is that the C drive is not checked. We do not want that to be activated. If the C drive fills up, that can cause a problem with the system and either cause this video server services not to start or the system to crash. Now, the additional drives, D and E, we want to make sure those are activated and set. Once we verify that, if we look under network storage locations, if any have been selected, we want to make sure it shows as active and that copy to network storage location is checked. Now, an important note, once that is done, Digital Sentry moves videos from the local storage to the network storage, typically in 15-minute chunks. However, the local storage is no longer used as a primary storage method. Think of it as a buffer. So we still have to have it as the video is first stored on local storage and then moved later to the network storage location. So now we're going to take a look back in VAU info and look at our video input devices. Now what these are here for is for the ENC 5516, and if you have an older DSSRV system, an ENC 5416. Now an important note on those two encoders. They are direct attached encoders that do not connect to the network. They also do not require IP camera licensing. They'll allow you to take 16 analog cameras and record them on Digital Sentry. Another important note to that is that we cannot mix and match ENC 5416s or ENC 5516s. It needs to be one or the other on a single system. Now, let's take a look at the Digital Sentry services. We can get there by clicking on Services in the Start menu or by typing in Services in Search and then hitting Enter. This will bring up the services screen. We can go ahead and maximize this screen, and then the Log On As column can be clicked to arrange all of the Digital Sentry services to the top. So let's talk about the first three services that are listed: the DS-NSM REST service, the Frame Server service, and the Pelco API service. It is possible that you will not see these services on your specific DSSRV or DSSRV2. That is because with older versions of the software, they are not included. They are used to connect to Pelco Mobile as well as to integrate with Video Expert Enterprise systems. So now let's talk about our other Digital Sentry services that everyone will have. The Digital Sentry Storage service, the Digital Sentry Video Server service, the SQL Server parentheses DS_MSSQL Server parentheses, as well as the Integral SQL Agent service. All these services have to be started and set to automatic in order for Digital Sentry to record video. There is one additional service that is available further down the list. That service is the SQL Server Browser, which also needs to be started and set for automatic. So with services covered, let's jump back into DSAdmin and let's take a look at user configuration, because this is relevant if someone's having issues logging in, or specifically if they are unable to see a camera. What we want to take a look at is if you look at the admin user under camera assignments, it has all cameras. You also look at our super admin under camera assignments, it has all cameras. Now if I select this to by assignment, the list on the left is the available cameras. The list on the right are the actual assigned cameras. What happens in certain situations is that we set an operator or maybe another admin to assigned camera privileges. If we only give them those two cameras, save this, they will not be able to access the other cameras. What happens is because it's by assignment, if a new camera is added, it is not automatically placed in the assigned cameras list. Instead, it's placed under available cameras. So we'll have to go in and manually add those to the assigned. For this reason, we recommend for admin users that their user is set to all cameras. The next section we're going to look at is user rights. So we just want to verify that all users have the correct permissions assigned to them. If they don't, here is where we would change that. We would take from the list on the left and add them to the list on the right, which would grant them that permission. Next, we'll take a look at the Digital Sentry information. This is another key component of verifying the overall health of Digital Sentry. Here, as you can see, we are in an alarm status due to problems communicating with an IP camera. This changes that normally blue icon into a yellow exclamation point and also changes the software light on the front of Digital Sentry to yellow. Now, to clear these errors, we want to open up DS Control Point. From there, we want to go into Setup, which is the icon in the upper left-hand corner represented by the 3 computers. Once there, we'll go into Alarm Pop-Up. Now, just like ours, your system might have it disabled. Just go ahead and click it to enable it, and now we'll get our Alarms tab. We click the Clear Alarms button, and this will remove the errors from the actual system information panel. Now, an interesting note on this, if this issue is resolved, that icon will stay blue. If the issue is not resolved, the icon will go back to the yellow exclamation. With our system now verified as healthy, we're going to open up DS Control Point. Once DS Control Point has loaded, we're going to go ahead and drag over the server name, which will load all cameras. With that done, we can see that all video is being displayed and the system is now up and working. Thank you for watching. As always,